Hey guys, I'm Nerdum248 here, and I had an interesting idea about a week ago that the more I thought about, the more I realized it was something I absolutely wanted to do. The idea that made me come up with this was Michael Sugantino was doing an LP of Josh-CCLP4, and he lost a video or something, I don't remember the exact details, and canceled it. It's like, well, that's not cool. Josh-CCLP4 has some pretty good levels. I should do that. But then I realized, why not tread some new ground? Now, you might notice this particular Tile World folder has a couple things that say CCLP4. That's because this is my CCLP4 submission set folder, and because Josh L6 didn't get completed, I'm going to be doing Josh CCLP4. This is either a really good idea or a really terrible idea. And I'll start off with, which is just, I think this is from Josh L originally, and you just run around and pick up chips. So it's a good, easy level for talking about intro stuff. So, why did I decide Josh CCLP4? Partly because I know Tipster and Brock both tried doing Jacques.dat at one point, and both abandoned it partway through. So if I finish this, it's the longest completed Tips Challenge LP ever. It's like, hey, I like doing silly stuff like that. It's worth noting that I think technically I already have that, but with ultimatechip.dat from 150 levels, but that's just those levels are so basic anyway. It's hardly worth counting that. It's not like it's a serious competition or anything. It's just an interesting idea, and one more reason why I was like, heh, why not? Anyway, that's start off. So Lockster, pretty basic key lock level it seems. So I have played a few of these levels before, not too many of them though, and really this is just because I want to actually play through more of the levels that have been made during the hiatus I took. I was away from the CC community for quite a few years. I came back about 2 years ago and started uploading a bunch of stuff for CC, like a year ago or something? Point is, I've had the stuff up, the interest, and been doing more videos with commentary, more playthroughs of stuff, even though they are kind of challenge-based, just because part of why I wasn't was because there's sort of stigma against it. Anyway, boot basics, boot level. There's sort of a stigma against LPs in the speedrunning community, and I think that's kind of silly because I'm just going to do whatever I feel like doing. And right now I feel like playing Tips Challenge levels, and I feel like talking over them because why not? Like, really, why not? This goes hand in hand with me just caring less about times and more about I'm going to try to beat past me. I don't care what's considered a really good time or not. I'm just going to do whatever I can. I've had a lot more fun with games since I started doing that too, so definitely worth it for me. Anyway, moving on. Recess test. I know I'm kind of blazing through these levels and just playing them, but these early levels are all like early Josh L tutorial type levels, so not too much to say, so it's worth just covering general things. Yeah, it's a good path. Anyway, so I'm mostly just playing whatever CCLP4 stuff. I feel like going through more of this, like some of the submissions in more detail. Josh L6 levels are good, needed LP. Well, not needed, but Josh is also doing Ultimate Chip 5, and that's interesting. Like, it's very nice having that feedback. So, Trick Trap looks like a basic Socko ban at the start. Let's put this block up here. And it's like, I kind of feel like, why not? Like, I've been looking for convenient excuses, and there's a pretty convenient set of excuses in Josh doing Ultimate Chip 5 and CCLP4 submissions and Michael losing his video and stopping Josh L6. So plenty of excuses. Idea bouncing around in my head for a while, and I just decided, you know what? There's no reason for me to really not go for it. So I'll Figure I'll start it out, see how it goes. If I don't feel like continuing, this probably won't get uploaded, but if you're hearing this, it is, so I wasn't completely sure when I started, so yeah. Uh, Otherwise, I'll be seeing this through to the end, regardless of how long it takes. No stranger to long projects, but at the same time, I do know a couple of my longer term projects have been abandoned most of the way through. And for Josh's sake, I will try not to do that. So trick trap is down, button control. Let's clone 2. So the reason I cloned 2 there is pretty simple. I wanted the walls toggling every 3 moves instead of every 4 moves. I need to hit the toggle button again. Those fireballs are... The one thing I don't like about the Tile World tile set, above all else, is really that fireballs are very hard to see on top of fire. But that's true for MSCC as well. Looks like I need to release the teeth. Yeah, he'll open the trap for me. And this tank will conveniently open that trap for me. And button control down. So, shifting walls and directions. Pretty sure these are going to be invisible. Yep. Great, I'm already out of pre-prepared ideas of things to talk about. These early levels. That's the ups and downs to there being early levels being simpler here. Okay, Josh-CCLP4 is 320 levels long with an overall difficulty that goes all over the place. I'm going to get this bug going now. Just because it does start out with a very nice difficulty scale, and then it loses that difficulty scale. Wait a moment. Can I partial post? No, I have to partial post this down. Do I have to partial post this down? No, I want to partial post up. I should probably deal with this blue wall maze first, just in case. And let me guess. There, no, there, here. So yeah, it's going to be... Because Josh, for the most part, did what I did with my CCLP4 submissions, and with the individual set, just for the most part, it's in the order from their initial set. So it's ordered from Josh L1 technically, then Josh L2, 3, and so on. So difficulty is going to ramp up, then drop off again, then ramp up, then drop off again, and it's going to keep doing that. And it's a lot of interesting levels here. So the reason I got the bug on hitting the toggle every 4 was pretty clear. I saw the toggles, and I just wanted to make it safe. So history in action. I have actually played this level back in Josh L2. There's the first death, I think. Just because when I did come back after those years away, like I asked what some of the better sets out there were for new levels, was recommended Josh L2 for some reason. And yes, that means we're already into Josh L2. And
Bummer.
I don't appreciate that. And anyway, played like through the first 20 levels, wasn't too terribly impressed, honestly. Not that like what I made was any better at the time, but I don't know, like this level in particular, I remember being a little annoyed with at the time. So where's the blue lock? Is it going to be... So I could go through this recessed wall and release the gliders, but I don't think I want to do that just yet.
Bummer.
That was really dumb of me. Like, so let's not screw this up this time. Because history in action. That's really funny to me, just because the title is History in Action, and way back in, like, around 2 years ago, so this time 2014, my play looked very similar to this. Okay, let's not be stupid with the ball this time. Green key. Yeah, I really shouldn't try to just, like, keep moving and measure weights like that unless I'm actually optimizing. Now go for boosting and stuff, like little shortcuts, like get perfect boosting. Now that'll do. Um, what am I gonna do with this teeth? I could lure him around, side swipe, then he's still gonna be an issue. If I run, is there anything I can do forward? No, I'm just... Okay, so I needed to lure the teeth forward. Wasn't sure about that. So, what do we have available at this point in the level? Oh, there's another green lock up here, leading to a teleport, gliders. Can't go that way, so I guess I'm just going to take the recessed wall path. Okay. So I did want those not cloning at all. These sorts of pointless force floor rooms are really interesting to me, especially because you will always have suction boots when you get in here from there. It's a lot of extra design effort for something that really doesn't have that much impact on the level. Anyway, where can I go now? Am I supposed to go through here? I mean, I see fire boots. I can get those if I push this block up one. Okay, so with the fire boots, I can hold down all of these. So just some block pushing. Definitely the first real challenge of the set right here. Still nothing too bad, but... Alright, so I should be... Okay, so I'll be able to leave through that recessed wall later. We've got a red key, so we can go into another new area. And I've got fire boots, which means I can bridge across there. Oh, blobs near the end. Why would you do this to me? Okay, let's... Okay, that was easier than I thought it was going to be. Anyway, history and action solved. Moving on to Tele-Swapper. I think I played this one in a CCLP1 voting pack. Like, it definitely seems familiar to me. I appreciate there not being invisible walls in these rooms. Oh. This button controls a clone machine. Let's hit it once then. If this was Lynx, I'd feel safer about releasing this. But I'm pretty sure I can outrun the fireball to get this lower chip. Yeah, easily. I really hope there's no thieves. Well, this is interesting. So I can hit a toggle button, I'll do so.
Bummer.
Why did I think the glider was going to move differently? This level is interesting. By interesting, I mean I've seen quite a few levels that do this general idea. Like of a teleport maze. Or not even teleport maze. This is literally sampler or teleport depot, except scaled up to more rooms and more chips. On that note, like this is gonna be a bit of a almost non sequitur, but um, one thing I did really like about sampler from CC1 is just that it used the chip in a socket as just one step out of multiple steps. Like it was not the focus of the level, collecting the chips, and it wasn't the final goal. It was just halfway through. That's something that official sets in general just don't do often enough, I think. So we've got a walker here. Could do plenty of things with him. Okay, there appear to be chips under these blocks, which makes dealing with this room a little meaner than it needs to be. Let's take... Okay, I can immediately replace the chip, and Walker's still trapped. Okay, if you couldn't do that, I would not have liked that room. Too close for comfort there. Alright, we have a brown button and a block. I'm going to assume the block goes there. Hitting the toggle button earlier was a good idea. Yellow key. I know I need to hit the tank button. And... Huh. Did I skip a room? Alright, I did have that trap button held down. I figured as much. So there's definitely another button that needs pressing, but there are two red buttons and I don't know which one needs pressing, and if I press the wrong one, I risk death from this clone machine. Oh, no, this one controls a block machine. Okay. So it was block machine, not clone machine. I saw what I expected to see, and it was not what was actually written. So good job, Josh, not being mean with the clone machine setup. Only two chips left. And we'll get that later. Alright, that's all the chips. Just gotta finish now. And that should be the room. Just making sure I don't die by paramecia. Interesting level. Anyway, shades of blue. So this is going to be a blue wall maze. I'm assuming, yep, blue keys. Several loops throughout the level makes the maze a little more confusing. Ditto with the ice. So I don't think I have a recommendation on this level currently. Mostly because of the water tiles, which ends up making the maze... I don't know, lethal tiles and blue walls are not that fun of a combination. Like, I know I've done it a few times, but you end up just having to be so careful as you step around. Like, I'm I'm more nervous than I probably should be from this. Okay, that's what I expected. That's a long ice slide. Like, I'm just gonna make as many of these walls not blue as possible. I'm assuming, of course, there is an actual border. If I'm wrong, I'll find out that I'm wrong soon enough. If I'm right, I get to save myself a little effort while running through this maze. This whole level's going to be tense, isn't it? Like, right here at this corner, that is not something I'm a fan of. I would honestly prefer if those were, like, ice corners or something. Like, something non-lethal, something that has the same effect without being lethal for a misstep. Alternatively, if you were given flippers partway through, so like all of these would end up becoming additional pathways you could take, maybe you do get flippers, maybe I just haven't seen them yet. I mean, there is a large portion of the level I haven't seen. Like, if you got flippers on this, that would be... That's a good use of ice and blue walls. But yeah, if you get flippers, my opinion of this level will revise pretty much immediately. If not, I don't think I like it too much. Let me guess, loop, loop. Okay, so I've already been up there. Haven't been up this way yet. Still can't go up that way yet. This is such a long level. Am I even at the corner, like the right edge of it yet? I'm honestly half tempted to just pull up a map and start playing off that, but I don't think I'm going to. Like, if I die, I will, but... You know, it's worth... Okay, that's gonna... I think I'm starting to understand a little better how Josh laid this out. Because that's the thing about blue wall mazes, is you start being able to guess the like method of construction. So it's like, that's going to go down here, and that's a loop. Just as I thought I saw a pattern that like most of the open spaces are going to be offset by 2, the layout immediately goes and shows otherwise. Like, immediately. Still, I'm going to be able to go up here, down there for the chip, back up. It's going to be another horizontal passageway, probably for that blue key. Yep, so I'm going to be able to go through here. And there's going to be a... And just because it's going to use the entire map, we can go up here. It's like blue wall mazes that use the entire map end up being predictable once you start getting towards the corners. That's why that's why I've tried to have like unpredictable sized what do you call it? Like blocks, like solid blocks of walls. So I don't even think I've seen the exit here yet. Oh, of course that's a pathway. So the exit's got to be down in the bottom corner. Yep, there it is. Wonder if Blue Forest fires in the submissions. I hope not. Like, because I remember Blue Forest Fire takes this idea and adds recessed walls to it. Oh good, I didn't miss any chips anywhere. Go back. It's not going to be that one. Oh, it was going to be that one. I was expecting it to be the one on the left. Didn't miss any blue keys either. Shades of blue complete. Alright, I think I've got time for compaction. So, blobs in MS in rooms like this are actually completely deterministic. Well, not the room below me. That one has some variability to it. Interesting level. Not too fun in practice. I'm sure this is probably a lot more fun in Lynx, actually. Um, in this case, it's just a matter of waiting for it to open. Let me guess, exit under this block? Exit under this block. Okay, that ending was cool. Oh, I think I've got time for Hydro Maze. As long as there's nothing lethal in it, it's just a matter of following a maze. So I'm going to follow the left wall, run through the maze, and hopefully not misstep. I see gliders, I'm a little worried. And if there's any loops in the level, that's going to make things a little trickier to work through. I see flippers, and they're up in the top left. Does not appear to have a loop. So as long as I don't misstep, and the gliders seem to just be decoration, should be a pretty easy level. Honestly, though, it's going to seem a little off topic again, but no, not really. It's my video. I can talk about whatever I want on it. Having Josh go through Ultimate Tip 5 has been a really good experience. Like, I haven't had anybody go through one of my sets and like actually just see the process of how they play my levels. It's very enlightening. Like, there's only so much you can get out of it with after the fact like feedback and playing them yourself. Even though like I did get the experience when I released the version 2 of Ultimate Tip 5 with 149 levels. I went through and I resolved everything in both rule sets. And that meant replaying levels I hadn't played in quite some time. So like that was a good experience just because I got to play some of my levels like I was playing them for the first time almost. I remembered bits and pieces of the solution, but not the majority of it. So that was a very interesting experience. And just seeing someone else go through, some of the stopping points have been just, some of them have been what I would expect, but other ones not at all. That level, and that's Hydro Maze. That was a surprisingly quick level, and yet another -0.0 time. Okay, Teeth Slide is another quick one. I'll play this too. That'll bring it up to right around a half hour. Good length, I think. So yeah, it's very, very interesting. Like finally seeing that feedback, finally getting that feedback. Because I know James was doing Ultimate Tip 1 at one point, but gave up on that. Didn't even get too far in before giving up. I don't blame him, though. The set had a lot of tedious levels that just weren't that fun to play. And I'm allowed to say this because I designed them. I'd be allowed to say this even if I didn't, but I could say this especially because I designed them. Still, I wouldn't regret my own playthrough of that set. It's definitely worth looking back and just seeing how far I've come. Which, in a way, this is sort of going to be that for Josh, just because this does have some very old levels from him in here. So yeah, a bunch of 13 levels on the first video. Not too bad. out of 320. How many will that be overall? Assuming I can keep this pace up, which I doubt. I'll get through this in reasonable time. So it looks like I'm going to have to lure the teeth off the slide at the end and probably kill it and then hop on the slide myself. And that'll end up being a solve. Pretty sure I'm going to be backtracking through here, so I'm just going to leave some tips behind for that backtrack. Yep. Whatever I can do to cut down on tedium with levels like this. I'm just reminded of one of Trevor's submission titles. Or I should say, one of his level titles. Why is this even in the set? I don't know why. Like, this isn't a bad level. I don't know, it's just a little long. Like, I get the feeling a lot of these early levels are going to have issues with scope. Like, they're going to fill the entire level with the concept just because they can without stopping to think whether they should. Which is something I know I had an issue with for a long time. Actually, I can stand here. Just wait. So eventually the teeth is going to blow up the bomb, and eventually I can just slide to the finish. And that will be part 1. How long is this ice slide? Like 10 seconds? At least it's at the end. I remember playing some levels in CCLP1 voting packs that put very long ice slides at the beginning of the level. Some of these were like 30, 40 seconds, and I was surprised to see Tyler have one of those. But regardless, that's almost beside the point. Uh, what was that level called? Teeth slide is done. We'll move on to challenging memory in the next video. Thank you for watching. Bloop.